What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 7 of the NASRA 360 Weekly Podcast. It's March 22nd, 2023. Tonight's guest, the owner of Blanchards Towing and Recovery, big league sponsor in NASRA. If y'all haven't heard of them, we've talked about them about 1,000 times on here. And probably NASRA's newest winner in our Over the Top Designs Xfinity Series. Almost made it back to back, too. Welcome aboard, Chris. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Here with the co-host Stephen Thomas, myself, Adam Newbert. So we're gonna jump. Well, let's talk about Stephen. What's your big news for the week?
Big news for the week. I wish you would have talked to me that before you jumped in the podcast
We are
here. I
on
hadn't
the
thought about
fly.
that. Why don't you go ahead and jump into your big news of the week? Maybe I can think of something.
All right. Well, we'll just go ahead and start off with the Over the Top Designs Xfinity Series on Thursday night. No points races. We ran an All-Star race. There's really not much to talk about this week for the Xfinity Series. They ran an All-Star race. I think like 6 people showed up to that race.
Yep.
Blanchard, did you race that?
I did not. I decided to opt out of it and do an NIS race at Atlanta.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
what.
gosh, wasn't you complaining about the numbers that was in there?
Who?
Chris,
I don't know. Was he?
No,
you
that
were
was
mad.
that was Hunter. Oh, the
Oh yeah.
numbers.
Oh
Hunter
yeah.
was said
Hunter was
something
a
about
little
me.
upset.
Hunter won the
Oh,
race. So Hunter Parsons won the race, the All Star race, uh, with 6 people in it. It was at North Wilkesboro. No really big news came out of that. I guess the next biggest thing to talk about really is the Friday night Triple M Pool and Truck Series. They went to Kentucky Speedway on Friday night. Had a pretty good turnout there. Chris Cinnamon ended up taking home the win. Uh,
the funny part about that is we were in Discord and he's like, "I'm gonna take a tool out of Keith Bradley's playbook," and he was Cinnamon was like, "I hate this track. It sucks. I'm gonna be shit tonight." And then he starts in the back and drives right through.
no, he did not.
He did.
Yeah, I
Oh,
remember watching. I remember watching the broadcast and them kind of talking about how he's coming through the pack, and then we all kind of need to watch him. I remember we're talking about Kentucky right now, right? I was looking at some
Yep.
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I remember watching the broadcast and they were talking about how I had at that moment I had a second and a half lead on you, Adam, and Chris was in I think sixth, and I think Flieger said something about should they worry about Chris Cinnamon, and Brady said I think everybody but Steven needs to worry about Chris Cinnamon right now, and as obviously I was watching the podcast after and I was thinking no, the gas is a problem right now. I'm worried about everybody, but yeah, he came like Blanchard said, he come flying through the pack, dude. He qualified, or did he even qualify way in the back?
Oh man, we
I
gotta look
think
it up.
I think he had like 15 or 16 positions gained and won that race. To be honest with you, it was a lot.
Oh man. Yeah, he
It
started
was a lot.
27th. Chris Cinnamon started
27.
27th in that
What
race.
a loser.
Led 18 laps. Oh.
Yeah, what a loser, man. 75% fuel. Look, Brady, we're having a talk after the podcast.
So people not a fan of the 75% fuel. So Justin Lumpkin grabbed the stage 1 win at Kentucky. Uh, Joey Doucette grabbed the stage 2 win. Chris, that's your teammate. I believe y'all racing for. No, he's not your teammate. I take that back. Y'all were just
He is.
really close friends and y'all used to race together and everything else.
Yeah, Joey was actually at my house today. I was looking at his vehicle.
Oh dang! Y'all lives out. So how close do you live to Joey?
About 15 minutes.
Oh snap! I didn't.
Yep.
Really, I thought y'all were a couple hours apart. I didn't realize y'all were 15 minutes apart.
Oh, 15 minutes.
That is crazy. So
Yep.
so Joey actually took the most stage points for Friday night. He got 18 stage points. Keith Bradley, the second most stage points, was 17. I got 15. Steven, you got the fourth most with 14. And Lumpkin with 13. Nathan Mallon with 11. Robbie Richards with 9. Dan Hagan with 2. Jose Luis Rivera with 2. And McKinnon and Taylor Peacock with 2. So those were kind of the front running drivers for most of Friday night. But that's not really how the race ended up at the end of it. Fuel mileage played a big factor into that, as Steven was just complaining about the 75% fuel.
Yeah, what caution? So there was a caution that came out in the third stage,
Yeah, it
within
was
like the
early
first
on.
first yeah, first 3 or 4 laps, I think. And a lot of people, half of the field went in including Joey Doucette, went in and took fuel topped off, and that's basically what won them the race. Like as far as Joey finishing, I think third, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he got third.
I think Nathan Maurer topped off in a second. I'm pretty sure Chris Simmons was one of them that went in, but the few of us that stayed out had to go in a couple laps too early in the third stage with no cautions and had to save gas. We were clutching through 3 and 4 trying to save. Um, we did good to finish though. I mean, but
Yeah.
that was the main that very early caution 3 or 4 laps into the third stages was determined the race. Who would have
Yeah.
guessed it?
I was on that same pit strategy as them guys, but I had no speed.
So this is where I'm kind of curious. This is something I can ask you, Chris, is because I know in Discord that night, me and Steven were talking. That whole caution, we were like, man, do we pit right here? Do we stay out? And I was like, I think the conversation kind of went, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Steven, but it kind of went like, yeah, I think there's probably going to be another caution. We probably should stay out and just keep the track
Oh, I
position.
thought for sure at least a few laps into this same stage we can go in and top off if we had to, or halfway through. But
Was
definitely
that?
thought there was gonna be no caution. Now was there? I think there was literally one caution that whole race besides the
Yeah, that was
stage
it.
cautions, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was actually a good race for us.
Yeah, that was
We
it.
we
Three
needed that.
cautions.
I remember somebody in the chat mentioning, I think it was McKinnon, or it may have been Brady, how bad we needed that race after the past
We
few
did.
Friday nights. Friday night series needed
I would agree
a
with
good
that.
race,
I was
and
just
we had it.
curious, Chris, if like the same conversation was going on in your Discord about the pit strategy right there during that caution.
They were talking about staying track position because we felt that track position was kind of stable. So I went and pitted, but I was way back in the field, and I think Cinnamon did the same thing. But it was close on fuel.
Hey,
Um,
you ended up leading 2 laps in that race. You finished 19th. Got you a
Yeah, he
couple
stayed
bonus
out for a
points.
while on the green flag stops, right?
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember that. I do remember seeing you up there staying out.
Yeah. I My strategy is always, you know, like Friday night we had enough tires that I could take tires at the stage breaks and have 2 extra sets for the third stage. But if we're running low on tires, I don't normally take tires until the second stage, no matter what track we're on.
Really?
Huh.
Really?
Really? Yeah,
Wow.
I always have a set of tires in the bank.
So no matter what the tire sets are, what the fuel strategy is, you usually always save a set.
Yep.
Wow. That shocks me.
Well, I mean, the way the league has been going, it benefits them a lot because of all the cautions. But if we start having clean races, then that strategy might be thought twice about.
That's true.
Like Thursday, Friday night, that's what happened. We didn't have, you know, I had an extra set, and I think most everybody did, but uh, I had to run a little. I should have ran a little harder, but I didn't. I was more conservative, and it kept me in the back. I didn't gain any sparks. So
Yeah. Well, I've actually seen that. I've actually seen Chris has benefited a lot from pit strategy this season. I know earlier in the season at Phoenix, when I ran into his rear end wheel, during the middle of that race at the end of that thing, he was gonna win the race until the late race caution came out. I
yeah,
remember that.
that was solid. I had 10 seconds over second place when
Yeah.
Robbie hit Huck and had the caution come out.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, 'cause I ran into Chris. I didn't mean to, but I ran into Chris at that race, and he yelled at me. But it's all good. It's all good.
So the standings on Friday night.
The standing. Let's bring up the point standing. It's a great opportunity to do that. So we're going to transition over to our point standings right here. Um, Stephen Light is probably going to be removed from this list because he has now missed over 2 races.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it looks like
then,
he's dropped down to 11th in points. So I mean, he's technically still in the playoffs if he comes back at all, but he's not a win and in situation.
Where did I?
So he's sitting 11th. Joey Doucette's sitting first. Obviously, he doesn't have a win, but he's sitting first in points, so he'll probably drop down, below the people that have wins coming to playoffs. Chris Cinnamon with 2 wins, sitting second in points. Robert
yeah.
Richards.
So Joey Doucette is like, I think I said it last week too, but I'm still waiting on him. He was really strong at Kentucky. You know, he led 14 laps at Kentucky. He won the pole. We didn't talk about him winning the pole. We talked about him having the most stage points. But he's on the cusp of fixing to get a win because he's been bad fast every single week. He leads
Yeah.
the series in top fives. I think he has the most top fives. He's got the most points. He's the
It's
most
hard to
consistent
finish in
driver.
this series, man. There's a lot of people that can win in this series. A lot of fast people. Robert Richards is sitting third in points without a win right now. Of course, you have 3 wins. You're sitting 30 behind first right now. We talked about that earlier, but you're sitting fourth in points technically
hmm
as of right now. But with
I've
3
missed
wins,
I've
you'll be
missed 2
jumping in the
races.
first. Yep.
So Robbie, Keith Bradley, you and Justin Lumpkin are tied right there for 7th and 8th. Dane Hagen 9th. And Dane Hagen's a surprise. You know, Dane Hagen being 9th in points, that's a surprise to me.
Yeah.
That's something I probably wouldn't have
He's
you know.
only 3 points behind Devin Painter at the moment too. So
No,
he's sitting in there
he's 3
tight.
points above Devin Painter. He's 4 points behind you and Lumpkin.
Let's see where are we. That's weird. I got a little something different on my
No,
standings
yeah,
in the
you're
Sim
right.
Racer Hub.
You're right. This is not updated. That's the problem with this right
It's
here.
not up to date today, is it?
That is the problem with this right here. Hold on, let's see if we can fix this real quick. Give me like a quick jiffy, and we can have this
Most
fixed.
of it's correct, but yeah, Devin Painter jumped ahead of Dane last week. Devin Painter must have had a good finish as he jumped up 2 spots after the Kentucky race.
All right, it's
Jose,
updated now. So there we go. You're
there
right.
you
He
go.
is 3 points behind Devin Painter. Devin Painter moved up from 10th to 8th in points. Stephen Light is off of that list. Joey Doucette with an even more sizable points lead over Robbie Richards. Jose Luis Rivera. Yeah, I still wouldn't have guessed that Dane Hagen would be 9th in points. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Chris
He's
Blanchard has moved
consistent.
up to 12th in points
Yep.
for Upfront Motorsports. Michael McKinnon 13th, Dana Shepard 14th, Clink Hart 15th, Peacock 16th, and then these 17th through 20th, these are actually going to be playoff positions. So you got Cody Knott, Nathan Maurer,
I didn't know
Jeffrey
Nathan
Sickles, and
Maurer
Brandon
was
Bullock.
in the points for Friday night. Is he?
So I think he was there Friday night. I think he raced Friday night.
No, I know he did. He finished second, but he's had 5 starts, and I didn't realize he was actually in the points. But with 5 starts, sitting 18th, that's pretty darn good. You know he's going to make it, and he's going to be a tough one if he gets in the playoffs.
Well, he's not going to race. He's not going to make that many, probably enough starts to make it. But the fact that he's missed 4 races and he still sits 18th in points is crazy.
How many races do you have to start to make playoffs? I thought it was just a win and end situation if you were more than 2 misses. Everything else makes it.
No, if you
No?
miss more than 2 races, your win does not qualify you for the playoffs. But
Correct.
there is not. I do not think that there is a minimum start requirement.
No, as long as you make the playoff in points, no matter how many races, you're in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys are on the cut line there. You got Jeffrey Sickles. Nathan's tied, in points with Jeffrey Sickles. Brandon Bullock.
That's it. As far as top 20 make it. So CJ's technically right there on the cutoff with Derek Kilgore.
Right. CJ, Derek Kilgore, Ed Osborne, and Ron Hunter. I just got sent something, and I wanted to say, y'all, Steven, ask Chris some questions there, because I just got sent something, and I want to bring it up.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do then, since we just covered Friday night pretty much. Let's jump to the Thursday night over the Top Design Series. That's actually the reason our boy Chris is in here tonight. Because he got his first win in NASRA history. What is that? 5 seasons deep and first win at NASRA history, a Thursday night Xfinity.
I'm actually 3. This is my second season on Friday night,
Okay.
and my first on Monday, and then so I've
This
only
is
raced.
only your second. See, I thought you'd been here for a while. I mean,
Nope.
longer. Well,
Nope.
okay.
Yep. So I was. I can't remember whose team I was on first. And then
Whose team were you on first? That's a good question.
last season it was. Is this my? No, this is my.
This is
This
like
is
your
my
third season, right?
second season on Friday night. So last season I was on uh, Swim Powerhouse.
Yeah, so you
Oh
you
yeah, he
race
was
before
teammates
you
with you.
race. So
That was
you
my
race this
first.
this
That
is
was
this is
my
this is
first
your
season.
third season then, because you raced before that, or at least you did half the season before you were on my team. Because I remember the year before you were on my team, or the season before you were in my team, we were down each other's throats.
Yes.
And then the next season we were on a team, and now it's this season. So yeah,
Yeah.
it took you let's say 2.5 seasons of racing, NASRA seasons of racing, to get your first
Yeah.
points win in NASRA. Because we've won a clash, right, and
Yeah.
a duel.
I should have. Did I win the? I won a qualifying, a heat race
Okay,
at the Clash,
yeah,
and I
that's right, that's right, that's
and
right,
I
in a
led.
duel.
I led 45 laps in the Clash and spun myself out, so I lost that race. And
Hmm.
I
then I
got you.
won a duel and was solid at
Yeah, I
pace.
know the beginning of this season and every series that you're running, you were hot and you're still keeping good pace. But as I said, Chris was our winner Thursday night at Atlanta. That was a really good, nice, clean race.
That was two
Obviously,
weeks ago because we had the All Star race Thursday night, so that was 2 weeks ago.
that's right, that's right,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, you talked about had the All Star race. We didn't have much show up. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to point out the reason,
Yep.
the main reason why we got a Blanchard in here tonight is because of his big
His
win in
first
Atlanta two
NASRA
weeks
win.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny that I run the trucks. The trucks are the main reason I'm in this series, and I just jumped into the Xfinity side of it to run with Rhett and Hunter and them.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll just pay the champ fee and do it part time. Like I think I've run 4 races, 5 races, not a lot, and I was very impressed to win at Atlanta. I can definitely get around that track pretty good.
Yeah. Because he would have beat me. He would have made it two in a row at Atlanta because I think it was the Monday night after that we went to Atlanta and he had me on the outside and then he got a little help from behind that got you wrecked out. But
Yep.
you were probably gonna end up getting that win right there again.
Yeah, and this past week the officials were at Atlanta too. And
And you got an
I
official win. I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, I gained. So last Thursday night, my I rating was like 1300, and Monday night, my last race, I was over 2000. I gained 800 I rating in 4 or 5 days running Atlanta races.
Dang. You get
Yep.
see, it's not very often you hear somebody that gains I rating from winning super speedway races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, so we'll switch gears a little bit to Friday night. We'll try to get moving along here. So this is what I wanted to show. I got sent this right as we were talking about the point standings. Power rankings. This is a new thing for the league. Power rankings on Friday night. So this is based off of. It's a formula they've come up with this one that's based off of top fives, top tens, average finish, current point standings in the league, and the amount of wins. So that leaves Joey Doucette being our most consistent driver. Chris Cinnamon and Robbie Richards is the top three. I don't really know what the +2 and -1. I don't really know what the plus and all that stands for. I think that's just how much week to week they're going to be moving up and down that list. So
It might be how many they are behind the guy in front of them.
maybe just I'm
Robbie,
not sure.
Justin, and you are
Yeah,
tied. Dane and one behind you guy. No, because I'm one minus. So no, I'm not sure either.
I'm not sure. I know it also goes off of starts too because like I've got 3 wins, but I missed 2 races, so I'm down to fifth. So I know it has a little bit to do with the starts. Dane Hagen in sixth. I mean, we talked about him, so he's obviously is doing really good. He's sixth in the power ranking.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So anyway, we'll move on to Monday nights now.
Now, are they going to do that like every week,
Uh,
and maybe have like a driver of the week or something like that?
so we've talked about that on here on the podcast is doing some kind of driver of the week. Just on the podcast itself is just trying to highlight a driver that really had a really great week through the whole series or whichever one it is. I don't know who's. I think Zach and Cody are doing these power rankings, so I think they're going to be trying to update those every single week.
That's a good idea for them to do.
Cody says he started it last week, so yeah, the number is the amount of positions jumped from plus or minus there. All
Okay,
right.
so okay.
So Monday night, the Monday night was a huge week for the Sim Racer Hub Truck Series. They had their elimination race for the round of 16. We'll go ahead and bring up the playoff picture. They raced at Auto Club, so 4 drivers were eliminated. Those 4 drivers that you can see on the screen now being Brandon Broadfoot by 1 point. Brian Chu was eliminated by 3 points. Personally, I'm a little biased. I'm upset about Brian Chu being eliminated by 3 points. He was into that. He was in that next round until the closing laps. He got into it with another driver. Tim Hammond and Steve Barnett eliminated, so they didn't make the cut. I know Tim Hammond was caught up in a wreck early on in that race at Auto Club Monday night. I think he got actually made contact with Jason Morales, I think, down the back stretch. I'm trying to remember who
Yeah,
it was.
even did a Barnett did a slide job. It was a little close.
Oh,
I
it was
think it.
Barnett.
Yep, and then it scared Hammond a little bit, and he come down into Jason. So I call it a racing incident, but it's close quarters.
Yeah, close call. I mean, there was the fact that I was in the first stage, and there was a lot of guys on that cutoff bubble that were up front racing really hard, trying to they knew that they had to get every point they could. Tim Hammond, Barnett being 2 of them. I know Sean Hamilton was up there. A couple guys that were up there just really racing hard that first stage. It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, those 4 guys got eliminated. Chris, you ended up advancing on. You asked the question earlier, why did you go from plus 18 to negative 4? That's the playoff point. So we've calculated, now that the points have reset, we've eliminated 4 drivers, we're resetting to the round of 12. Now the points are based off of playoff points that have been accumulated throughout the seasons by these drivers. So Chris, that puts you negative 4. I don't know if you have any playoff points.
I do not.
So that's gonna be a big round for you. I know.
Yes.
What's your strategy going into it?
I'm gonna practice a lot at Watkins Glen and get a good finish there. I just need to make it through to the next round, and then we got Talladeggers in the next round. So I'm
It goes from Watkins Glen to Talladega in the
no,
next
it
2
goes
races.
No,
Watkins
Watkins
Glen,
Glen to Charlotte.
Okay,
Charlotte.
I got you. I see
Charlotte.
it now.
I'm good at Charlotte, and then the rest of the season. But Watkins Glen is the one I'm comfortable with that track. I just don't do a lot of road course racing, so that's what I'm gonna do this week is practice on that.
Yeah, I've got to do the same thing because I'm not prepared for road course racing.
So I'm
I,
hoping.
I can't stay consistent enough at it.
Yeah, hoping to just make clean laps and let everybody else mess up.
Yeah,
Inner,
that's what
inner
I
slow
hope too.
exit. Inner
Yeah, just
slow
be
exit
real
fast,
easy.
boys.
Yep.
Slow in, fast out. So this is gonna be a really fun round for these guys on Monday nights. We go now from 3 races in the first round, and now the next 2 rounds are both 2 races each, and we're still gonna eliminate 4 drivers after both of these races. So this round is probably gonna be one of the most interesting. I don't know. It's a wild card with Watkins Glen, but then in the round of 8, the Elite 8, it's also a wild card with Talladega. So it's going to be kind of crazy these next 2 rounds, and then the championship 4 will be at Chicagoland. So yeah, it's going to be a good race. It's going to be a good round, I think.
Can't remember if Brady struggles at Watkins or if he's good. I know Justin White's good. Nathan's gonna be okay.
I don't know.
Eric should
I
be.
tried to get.
Robert Richards. I don't think Robbie's too good at road courses. I can't remember correctly. But
He is not good at road courses. I can confirm 100%. He likes to slam on his brakes in front of you going in the corners and just at road courses.
He does that on ovals too.
Yeah, he'll like that. He'll like that I said that too. Let's see. So yeah, Brady, I tried to get him to practice with us earlier. We were actually all on practicing earlier for Watkins Glen, but I tried to get Brady to get in there. He's like, I'm not practicing with you. I think he was gonna come. I think he got busy. But anyway, so that's pretty much what happened there. We'll kind of recap the Auto Club race. Blanchard, you got a pretty good recollection of the Auto Club race.
I did. I was in stage points both stages, and taking the going to the third stage, I had Justin White on the outside of me, and I pushed him up a little bit, but I had enough room. I was gonna run like a couple lanes down going into one, and I went to set my truck in the corner, and I got into him a little bit, gave him a little bit of damage, and I got about 12 seconds, but I never was able to get it fixed.
Where was
So
it? Who was this with?
Justin White.
Justin White. Oh, I didn't realize you and Justin White got into a little bit of
Yep.
contact there.
He
Yeah,
finished
we got
second.
He was running me down at the end of that race for that win. He was probably
Yeah.
gonna beat me if he had a few more laps.
Yeah. That high side for me was working in the stage 1 and 2. I had that thing rolling.
Yeah. High side definitely works, especially late in a run at Auto Club. It's hard for anybody to really get past you unless they throw a slide job on you. And
Yep.
once that happens, you got a big run down the straight stretch, so you can get it right back. But yeah, Adam Newbert took another W at Auto Club Monday night. Justin White, like he said, was really fast. Finished second. Nathan Maurer third. Kyle Hess fourth. Robbie Richards with another top five. Sean Hamilton was sixth. Brady LaBeouf seventh. Steve Barnett ninth, but he was eliminated unfortunately. Raul Meza 10th. Did he make the playoffs with a 10th place finish? Dayton Hagen
He
11th.
did.
Christopher Blanchard 12th made it into the playoffs. And like you said, the big takeaway there honestly was Brian Chu had a hell of a race. I mean, probably one of the best ones of the season for him, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And got
Yeah.
knocked out last 3 laps. Ended
Yeah.
up taking them out of the playoffs by 3 points. So that's probably the big takeaway for that race.
He got Bubba Parsons.
If
didn't he?
I talk about it, I'm gonna get upset. That's the problem. He's one of our
Well,
drivers over at Swim, and he ran a perfect race. And Blanchard over here put a little wager, a little $50 wager on whoever can start in the back and not qualify and try to go up there and win the race. And somebody whose race was pretty much done with they weren't gonna win the race, made a little bonehead move and
so
took
you're
out
saying ultimately it's Blanchard's fault. That's why
Well, we're
you
not gonna blame it on Blanchard, but
Blanchard, is that not
we're
what you
just
said?
gonna
Yes,
we're just gonna tell the whole story. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
talk. I'm a little biased in this situation.
Well,
So I can't talk about it.
just for the record, it rolls over till next week because it
It
wasn't.
doubles to Watkins Glen, but that's a
Oh,
little
does
bit
it?
safer.
Does it?
Yep.
So what you should do is not qualify at Watkins and then make your way to the top five and get that money and the playoff points on.
You got to win though.
Oh, you gotta
Yeah, you
win.
gotta
Adam
win.
can't. Never. You can't
Yeah.
do that. Never mind.
No, I can't do that. Watkins Glen.
So if nobody does it,
I might
at
just come to Watkins Monday. To be honest with you.
and then it will roll over till the next race.
That sounds fun. I remember you
Double-
telling me
it
you were
will-
gonna roll it over, but I
So
didn't
you're
really
gonna
put
you're
two and
gonna
two
add
together.
$50. You're gonna add $50 every single week that this does not.
Until somebody that does not qualify wins the race.
Okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do Watkins Glen,
What
but
if
Charlotte, it's
I
gonna
mean,
be
if that
tempting.
thing you can't double it every time. You're saying so 100 and then 200 and then
Nope,
400. That would be a lot of money. $50 every
$50.
time.
Yep.
Still gonna add
50.
up, man. I'll just go ahead and take care of your pocket Monday night. Don't worry about it, Chris.
Okay.
Don't worry about
Okay.
$50 every week. Okay, Monday night guys, y'all heard that. That scares me a little bit, but y'all heard it.
Yeah, and then if nobody wins it at the championship race, it will go to the highest finishing non-playoff driver.
Okay.
it. All right,
I like that.
I see what you got going on here. You're trying to get people to show up for the playoffs.
Yep.
Okay. I don't hate it. I'm sure your playoff drivers do, but you know what? They can kick rocks.
Keeping the competition real.
Yeah,
Oh,
man, that's not
yeah.
a bad idea at all, dude. That keeps people. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
That's true. It does keep people coming.
So
It
what
does
if
keep people coming.
somebody does it at Watkins? Are you gonna do another 50 at Charlotte?
I am. I'm gonna start it over.
That- I got you. I got you. I
Yeah,
got
I'll
you.
do
So
it.
it just
It'll be-
pushes over. It pushes over for the. Okay. All right.
Yep.
I like that. I like that.
I'm
So
gonna do it for the rest of the season.
another
Good
thing to
idea.
remember at Watkins Glen, there's going to be where we usually have a caution break at every single stage. NASCAR started this rule this season where they're not going to throw the caution after the stage breaks on the road courses. NASRA started the rule first. So Monday night there will not be a caution during the stages until the end of the second stage. At the end of the first stage there will not be a caution. It will just keep going green but drivers will still be scored for where their position was. The end of the second stage, there will be a caution.
Nice, nice. Not
That's
a
a
bad
good
idea.
idea.
Yeah, it's gonna make
Keeps things moving here.
it's gonna be interesting with tire wear. I think 20 laps on old tires like that is gonna be interesting.
That will might benefit me in the long run.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, for sure. All right.
Well,
Well,
moving on from Monday
oh
night series, I want
yeah,
to talk about Tuesday night
yeah,
series
yeah.
coming
That's
up
where I was
still in
going. You talk
about
about
a
it.
week, maybe 2 weeks. I'm not sure exact. Do you know the exact date yet? I know he's kind of
Mm,
waiting for about 10 more entries is all that's left.
I don't know it, but I can tell you he's gonna tell it to me here in just a minute. Yeah, I think we're waiting on
Yeah,
about 10, a little bit less than 10 guys now. That series is filled up quick. I know last week we talked about it. We only had like 10 people signed up last week. Now we have
a
30.
lot of those are part times too. We need some full time drivers. Chris, are you racing in the Tuesday night series?
I am not.
You are not. Okay.
Oh,
It's going to be a
uh,
lot of fun, man. Ever since I signed up for it 2 weeks ago, I've been racing these late models, and dude, these things are a lot of fun to drive, especially at these short tracks, dude. It's going to be a blast.
yeah, I might do
April
it
11th.
part-time, but I can't commit right now because my daughter is due within a month, so that
Ah,
might take most of my time.
I hear
April
you.
11th is when that series is gonna kick. They got 9 spots remaining. They're capping it at 40, and there's 8 part-time guys signed up right now.
That's awesome. That's not bad at all. So we're going to be rolling, man, in that. I did think of something the other day since Cody's listening. This is just kind of an idea. I thought about something a couple days ago because of the races that I've been joining. We've had 35, 40 entries on the hosted series.
Mhm.
And what the hosted guys were doing were taking the top 25, 30 qualifying and booting the rest. So the question comes in, well, if I pay my entry fee, I should get the race. So remember, Adam, I think I was talking to you about this or no, it was Marty. So I thought, well, what if we had heat races? Say this is if we have 40 drivers, because 40 drivers at these small tracks in the late model is too much. Plain, simple, period. It's way too much, but it's super fun. You just have to wait for people to fiddle out. Instead of doing that, we could do $5 entry fees for a heat race. You pay $5 to enter a heat race. Let's say we take the top 25 drivers. If you are the top 25 drivers, do you pay the $12 entry fee for the feature, right?
Mhm.
All this money goes to the payouts. So not only are you getting extra money for the weekly payouts, you're not starting with 35, 40 drivers at a small track in a late model. So we'll have 2 heat races, eliminate about 10, 15 drivers, depending on how many we show up, and then start our feature with 25, 30 drivers.
So
Just something I was thinking. Like I said, you're getting money involved for the payouts for everybody.
yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
We could possibly instead of take that money to the winners and top 10 that always get it, we can make that money go to what Chris is doing, some other drivers, different drivers. But yeah, if we have say we have 35 drivers show up at one of these tracks, dude, it's going to be very very hectic for the
Oh
first
yeah, it's gonna
20,
be
20
caution
30
filled.
laps. It's going to get a lot of people to quit. So
I need
two
Make
heats
make
and a
sure
feature in
Cody
late model be crazy.
make sure you put Oxford on there.
Oxford.
I'm not sure. We can pull up the schedule. I believe I can pull up the schedule real quick and see if Oxford is on there
Yeah.
or what's on there
So while you're
exactly.
doing that,
But
I do like that idea. It's like a little initial $5 deposit, to get into
yeah,
the heat races.
$5 to get into the heat.
And if you
If
make
you
it into the
make it,
feature, you pay the other $12, right?
yep,
So,
What is it? $16 a race?
yeah. Or I mean, if you wanted to, you can make the entry fee a little bit less, like $10
or
entry and
you
a five
just
dollar heat. But it'll
pay the
get more
remaining
money in the pot.
$7 to make up the $12,
Yeah.
right?
Or you could. There you go.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good idea. But it doesn't get that extra money in the pot that we're.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's nice for most. I guess that's not a big deal for
So
most too. So
he's messaged me. He's told me that there will be 24 drivers in the main event. So he's gonna have a format pretty soon. We'll see it and put it up here next week.
okay,
Uh,
there you go.
he's
Sweet.
gonna take 2 from qualifying. So I assume that's the first two guys in qualifying. And then 6 from the 3 heat races, and 4 from the last chance qualifiers. I'll have to get another
Okay, so
format on that.
he does have some heat races. Cool, cool. Just try to make it. Like I said, if people start complaining about I paid my entry fee and didn't even make it to the feature, then maybe we can just add. You can only have to pay for the heat, and then if you make the feature, you can pay for that. It's only if people start complaining about it. But here's your schedule for the Tuesday night Pulse Poppers late model. Total of 15 races. Looks like for the regular season. I don't think the playoffs is on there. I'm sure he'll answer me here in just a second. I think
I
this
don't think
is
we're gonna have
15.
playoffs. I don't think.
Wow. Okay, that'll be cool. So just the
I'm not
points.
sure. Maybe.
That'll change a lot too. So week 1 is Five Flags. 2 is News Smyrna. Is that how you say that?
New
New
Smyrna.
Smyrna.
Yep.
Smyrna, yes. North Wilkesboro, Martinsville, South Boston, Hickory Motor Speedway, Stafford, Nashville Fairgrounds, Thompson International. Nashville Fairgrounds is an all-star race. Week 9 is Thompson International, Southern National, Richmond, Langley, Oxford is 13th, Irwindale, and Bristol. What was you saying should be on there, Chris?
The Oxford, because they have
Oxford, yeah. So it's
yeah
late in the season.
yeah because they run the Oxford 250 up here every year, so that's a big
Yeah,
race for
I'm
me.
excited for that, man. It's going to be fun, and there's a lot of good drivers in that one.
Hmm.
A lot of good drivers, man. Rhett
Well,
Tucker's racing in it. Jason Higginbotham is racing part time. For our season 1 Triple M pulling, which back then it was need competition.
Sneed competition designs. Yep.
That was our season 1 champion. He's going to be there, and a lot of other good drivers are racing in that thing.
Yeah. So all
Sounds
right,
pretty stacked.
we'll just get on to our
It
main
is.
main interview here with Chris.
Nick Sacco is running it. He's one of our snipers from the first and second season Cup series that we started in the beginning. He's very fast.
Nick Sacco.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't think you.
I never raced with him before.
He was super fast in the Cup before the next gen.
Never raced with him before. So Blanchard, tell me the basics about yourself. Where do you live? I always get this wrong. You live in Maine, right?
Yeah, I'm living in the little town of Clinton, Maine.
Clinton,
The
Maine.
Clinton, Maine. Yeah, it's the dairy capital of Maine. We got about 3,500 people in this town. I tell people we are small enough so we have no stoplights, but we're just big enough for the the post office and the general store to be in 2 separate buildings. But the same guy owns the building, so
Is it like a one stoplight kind of town?
not even. We don't even have a stoplight.
Oh wow, dang, that's
Yep,
crazy right there.
not even a blinker.
Wow, not even a blinker. That's bad. That's bad. So let's see. How old are you?
Uh, 43. Turned
43.
40.
So not even
Yep.
that old. So you're the owner of Blanchards Towing and Recovery.
Yep.
Huge sponsor for NASRA. I don't remember where I met you. I don't remember if I met you in Taylor Peacock's races or if I met you in Bluegrass first or NASRA first. I think it was
I think
NASRA first.
might have been natural or bluegrass. Anyway, I started in bluegrass, and that's how I met. Uh, I got in with Joey and Ed and Taylor, and then I come over here.
Yeah, I do remember you coming from there. Uh, so you've raced for, man, what we say, this is your third season on
Yes.
Friday nights. So you've
Yep.
been with us for about a year and a half now.
Yes.
I hadn't gotten your first NASRA win. We were talking about you me and Steven were talking about you on the podcast. I don't know if you ever listened to the podcast before this week, but we have been talking about you and how you know how much you've improved and how much better you were driving every single week. And we felt like pretty soon you were going to have a breakthrough. You finally got that first win in NASRA. So what was that? I know you were super excited after that race. So what was that feeling for you?
It was awesome to win, and I was lucky that Hunter was behind me and pushing me. But I also had Ted Wade on the inside of me, and Ted is a little rough around the edges when it comes to other drivers, but he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going to be able to race somebody for the win and beat them by, you know, best them by .008, that's huge because it was Ted Wade.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that I was able to best him by that. Finish ahead of him. Uh, a really big confidence booster for me.
Yeah, that's something. That's something. You bring up a good point there. You can beat certain guys in the series, but when you beat like the top drivers like Ted Wade or even Keith Bradley or Chris Cinnamon or even Stephen Thomas, you beat those guys, it's like more special.
Yes.
I think I've raced head for head against Ted Wade. I even did it at Indianapolis earlier in the Xfinity season. Raced against Ted Wade for the win, and still, I think I've raced against him for like 2 or 3 times, and still have not been able to beat him.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's frustrating. That's frustrating for me when I race Ted. Although I would much prefer to race somebody like that for a win because when you beat them, you beat them. I mean, that's a big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
speaking of, I can talk on that of the championship last season, man. It just made it that much sweeter to beat Ted because what he win 7, 8 races last season, everybody thought he locked it up, and
Yeah.
yeah, to be able to, like Chris said, just beat him for the championship the very last race of the season, it made it that much sweeter. So yeah, I definitely know what that feels like.
Yeah. You feel accomplished at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think the other three, it was Ted Wade going to that championship race, and the other three of y'all were just underdogs. I think that was pretty much how it went to that championship race.
Oh, it definitely was. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, everybody he was the favorite. I don't want to say we were all underdogs. Damn it, we were there, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ted was the favorite at Vegas. And that's I didn't mean it was actually at Vegas, but I'm saying he was the favorite in Vegas betting for that
Yep.
race as well. So, uh, but you know what? We'll leave it there.
He won the championship. Yep.
Yeah, and
Um,
that Xfinity series is actually pretty stacked because Rhett's good and
Oh, that
Hunter's.
Xfinity series is super stacked for sure.
So for me to granted it's a super speedway, but what people don't realize is, yeah, Atlanta's a super speedway, but it doesn't race like one. You
No,
gotta
there's some
be
tire wear there for sure. You gotta
there.
be smart.
Yep, and so to earn that my first win in that series right there, that night was pretty good. I was happy with that.
Yeah,
it's
there was a
even
lot of
it's
people happy
even
for you, bro.
yeah, it's even rougher in those Xfinity cars because those Xfinity cars versus those trucks at Atlanta, the tire wear just made the Xfinity cars so much more looser.
Yep.
True that.
It was pretty bad. I'm actually really glad you didn't beat me Monday night at Atlanta because Atlanta's my home track, and I've always wanted to win at my home track at NASRA or in any
That
league really. And
I
I was kind of relieved that I didn't get beat that night.
I was so mad. Like that was I had that high side rolling, and they if they would have just stayed in line for a half a lap, we
Oh
would
yeah,
I we the outside line might have had a top three.
oh yeah.
Or at least a top five. And people don't realize that where you're in the top five and you got a lap and a half to go. So is it better to finish fourth or fifth, or wreck yourself going for first?
It's better to finish
Be-
fourth or fifth.
Right. It's like it's tough because not a lot of people understand that.
Well, I
I
don't.
would
Yeah,
myself. I'd rather have a top five finish and have a clean truck than wreck myself and finish 19th.
I don't care what people say. That you have some guys in the league that'll go, "Oh, I'm going for a win. Checkers or wreckers." No, I don't know. I just don't think that way. I guess I just think be smart and get the good finish and get the points. And
I'm 85% sure relaxing in fifth and seeing if taking that fifth. But there's definitely times of the season
there are
where
times,
you
yeah. I mean,
have
there's
where you have to
scenarios.
push it, or times where you have come second, third, fourth for 7, 8 races in a row and you're tired of it. But for the
Yep.
most part, yeah, you need. There's a lot of people in this league
You
that
know,
need to remember that.
Broadfoot was he was running third behind me on the outside, and he got into Jason Stevenson, which started the whole melee.
Mhm.
But if he would have just if both of them would have stayed, they would have both probably been in the next round.
Yeah,
Like,
because I'll just tell you, I was on the inside of you right there, and you were just riding because you had so much fresher tires. You were just riding behind me for like the 2 laps before that. You could have
yep,
passed me at any point in time, and you probably saw how much I was pushing that truck and how loose I was on those old tires.
yes,
'Cause I was dead sideways. I was so sideways. I was pushing it so hard trying to stay in front of y'all. It
yeah.
was
I can guarantee you, Friday night, if we're in that same position, that's not going to happen.
yeah, I know. You're gonna go for it then. I'll tell you what, Friday night, depends on who's behind me Friday night. But if we're in that same position and you take that spot, I'll just block for you. I'll
All
do
right,
that one. Depends on as long as it's not a teammate behind me.
Okay, that works.
But anyway, so and you brought up another on top of all this, where we talked about your improvement through the league and everything. Uh, you brought up something right before we started the podcast, and I was gonna bring it up actually in this podcast because it's something that I feel like has even benefited me this season, being teammates with Steven. But having different people in your ear in a Discord during a race, people that are like good and know what they're doing and are just calmer about what they're doing, that how much of a difference that makes.
Yep, I learned that last season with Steven. I had Steven and Taylor and Ed and Joey uh, on my team, and I improved last season by listening to them. Like you may not. It's all. This is all a mental game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're using your brain. Yes, you turn the wheel and everything like that, but it's all mental. So you can't. You have to use your brain and putting people. You listening to Steven and on how the car's handling or what he's doing or watching him race. It made me better. And then when I came over to Upfront Motorsports, I got Keith Bradley and Chris Cinnamon, and I got Taylor. Him and I are really good friends. Um, that just helped it even more because you strive to be just as good as them.
Mm-hmm.
You're you're only as good as the people you're around.
For
So
sure.
what I mean by that is,
I learned that
yep.
a
So
long time ago.
if you're at home and you have a partner or anybody like that, um, so say your partner doesn't work and they sit home and watch TV and do stuff like that, and you come home and I see it with like my dad. He retired about 20 years ago, so he retired a little early, and my stepmother's retired too, so she doesn't do a lot. So my my dad hasn't stayed busy, so he adapted to the way that she is. So they just hang out at home. They don't do anything. So it slows down. So your people adapt to the people around them. So if you put good people around you and good people that uh, you can listen to and learn from, then that benefits you.
For sure.
Oh,
No matter what you're doing.
yep. So like you and Adam and Steven, you guys are on the same team. So Steven's really good. Adam, you're really good. So if you put you guys together, what Steven is missing, Adam, you're probably giving him, and vice versa. So it makes you guys stronger as a race team and individuals.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yep.
I agree
I
with that
agree.
100% because when Steven came over, not saying I didn't already have great teammates, I already had great teammates, but Steven being a previous champion and just knowing how to go out there and get the job done, just listening to him sometimes, even though I've been whooping his butt this season,
Oh
just
man.
listening to him sometimes has just been really awesome. Whether he'll tell you to not drive so hard, like he'll sit there and get on the radio and say, "Hey, don't drive so hard, take it easier, save your tires right here, be smart." That all having that in your ear and just knowing that hey, calm down a little bit. That's pretty huge.
Yep. And I've been in positions where I'm behind both you guys, and I just sit there and ride. Like I learn, I see what you guys are doing on the track to make yourself faster, so I get behind you. Even though that you guys aren't in my Discord, I know that you guys are good drivers, so it benefits me to sit there and follow you guys and
Sure.
learn that.
I've been preaching it, and I still do it with like Keith and Ted a lot, and Rhett. I always done it with my dad all the time. If somebody's faster than you, don't race the piss out of them for 4 or 5 laps.
Hmm.
Slide in right by as soon as they get beside of you. Slide in right behind them and see why they're faster than you. Learn from them,
Yep.
and then go from there.
Hmm.
Um, you might not be able to keep up with them so much, but you can kind of figure out their line. And as soon as you get fresher tires, then you can kind of go off of what you learn from them guys. But a lot of these people in this league, and we're getting a lot better about it. Don't I mean, but I've been preaching this for 3 or 4 seasons now, man. when someone's going to pass them and they have ran them down from a second behind already, second and a half behind, then they just want to race them hard as they can for 3 or 4 laps until either something happens or they've done burned their shit up so bad that they can't do nothing anyway. So I have always, if anybody is faster than me, if anybody is pressing me at all, slide up, slide in, and follow for 5 laps, and you will get that much faster, that much
Yep.
sooner. But yeah, man, like you're preaching, man. The people around you will teach you everything, whether they're teammates, whether I mean, we race with a lot of these guys every week. You see somebody doing well on a weekly basis, go learn from them. That's what we're
Yep.
here for.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I've been neglecting the chat over here. I even forgot to pull it up, but they've been like hollering at us this whole time over here. They said Clinton, Maine. Joey Doucette says Clinton, Maine does not even have a McDonald's.
Oh my,
Nope.
The nearest
that's good.
McDonald's is Winslow.
Fuck McDonald's, man.
Yep.
I don't really like
That's
McDonald's,
surrounding
but
yourself
I,
by bad
I've been
people,
I've been here
bad food.
40. I grew up here. Actually, my place is about a mile from where I grew up, and in 43 years, there's been three things that's happened. The mill closed down, and they tore it down, and now it's a park. And we got a Dollar General, and then the local grocery store got bought out, and they moved it out to the interstate.
wow.
Not to
And we
change
have
the subject, I seen something in the chat real quick. I want to read because we talked about it for a minute. Everyone pays $12. If you don't make the feature, you get $6 back. So they're somewhat doing that, and that's awesome. I like it.
yep.
Language. Oh, hush. We're all grown men here. We got kids watching our podcast.
Nah, you got no kids. I don't know. We might. Rated E for everyone.
We might. But yeah, that's going to be cool. I did not know that was going on. And like I said, I was talking to your spotter slash crew chief for Monday nights and telling him how good of an idea that would be, and so be it. Cody and Brady's already put that together. Great minds think alike, boys. Except for no cussing on the darn podcast, I guess. But whatever.
Yep.
All right, there's another question I want to ask you, Chris. Is your sim rig? I had you showing it to me. Chris is probably the only person that I know of. I think probably is the only person in the league that has a full motion sim rig.
I do.
Yeah.
And
So
sometimes it's dangerous.
sometimes it's got the e-stop on it.
The what?
The,
No, I don't have the quick stop button
uh,
or anything like that. So if I wreck it, I'm in it for the ride till it stops.
oh,
Mhm.
oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So okay. So what did you start off on when you first joined NASRA? What were you running in? What kind
I
of setup
had
did you have?
um let me hold on just a second. When I started NASRA, I was already in my motion rig. Um
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, but I have a picture. Let me I'll post it in
You
the
had the same thing everybody else had, man. A desk and a G29 with this chair.
I
Everybody
did
had it.
I did
I
not
did.
have
I had it. I had a
Uh,
T150 in that
I
gaming
won a
chair.
lot of races on my G29, dude. You know what? I got a little bit slower when I went to the more realistic stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was gonna be my question. Is like all these upgrades, and I know you've made a lot of upgrades to your setup. Like, how does that? Do you feel like it's helped you?
It has, yep, because I am a uh how do I okay, did I send that? Do you guys see that? No?
Hmm. Let's see. I don't see it yet.
Get nitro. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, that's real cute, Joey. You said
I'll
that
do
to
it.
the defending champion, you turd.
I'm gonna send it in the Monday Night League chat so you
I think
guys.
I think you were faster than Joey at Watkins Glen a little bit ago.
I just beat him. He's gonna call me. I literally just beat him before we jumped in the podcast, and he said I'm slow.
Your file is too big.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm
Hold it
gonna
up.
just.
Hold it up to the camera. Hold it up to the camera.
Yeah, somebody just said this is his second motion. He sold his first motion simulator to someone else. I won $50 on your championship race. No, yeah, you shouldn't have. I hope they didn't pay you that because you
So
didn't
this was
save me.
my. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can kind of see that. Yeah.
You said Taylor first.
Me.
Yep.
So it was a GTR rig, and then I had my cousin Bob make me some wooden stands to hold my triples.
That's what
And
I
that's
need.
that's what I had.
That's what I need. I need something to hold triple monitor. I got 2 extra monitors sitting in my closet, and I have
He
nothing to
just
mount
said
them on.
And
skip.
what you can't see in the picture is I had triples, and then I had a 70-inch screen above it. So I had a 70-inch monitor above it that
Oh
had
my
my
gosh.
sim racing apps on it.
Oh my god. How many windows did you fit on that 70-inch screen?
So no, I had it. I just had
Oh,
my
just the sim racing apps.
so I
Wow.
could so I could see the top 20 because I run the crew chief big, whatever it is. So it shows you the top 20, shows you your tire wear, your fuel, and stuff like that. So I had it on that screen, and then I had three 27 inches on the bottom. That's what I was running.
Hmm. Dang. That is crazy. 70-inch. If I had a 70-inch screen above me, I'd put all kinds of stuff up there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I'm
then
sure you would.
then I bought TJ Moore. Helped me out. He's my computer guy. He's also our race control
Yep.
on
You
Monday.
probably put that picture of Robbie Richards with the thing on his head on that 70-inch screen if you had it, Adam.
Let's
Or
see.
is that Joey?
I was going. I don't know, but I was going
That's
through
what
my.
would be. That's what would be up on Adam's.
I was going through my. I was going through my phone today, my pictures, and I actually have that picture on my phone.
I've got it
Yeah,
somewhere on mine.
show it to everybody because apparently I
No,
can't say it.
no,
You know
no,
what I
no,
mean?
no. Let's not show
Gosh.
that. No, let's not show that on here.
Like,
You are gonna get us cancel cultured, Steven.
why
Yeah.
do I have that on there? So we, TJ and I were talking, and I wanted to get a sim rig, so a motion rig, and he's like, check out Sim Experience. So it was a stage 4, which has the motion and the traction loss. So let me I'll stand up for a minute and show you guys. Let me turn the light on.
Here we go. Nobody's ever done this. We're about to see it.
Okay, so the stage 4
That's fucking sick.
is just the bottom half of the the rig. So the stage 4 comes with the motion, the traction loss, the pedals, stands, and stuff like that. So it's from here down is the stage 4, and I got that. But the stage 5 has the. I think this is the button.
Don't you get me out of there. Leave me alone. God
If you
darn it.
if you can see that, my monitor's moving up
Yeah,
and
we're
down.
actually gonna blow this up here so everybody can see it better.
So the monitors move up and down. They're electric, so they move up. They'll adjust for me.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Yep. The pedals do the same thing. They move back and forth. But right now I don't have that because when I had my old rig, I hung the pedals. So if I had them on the uh, bracket to make them move back and forth, then it'd be too high. I couldn't move them. So I have to revert them back to the pedals that invert them and put them back down on the ground. So that's what I got to do there, but I haven't got that far yet.
That's freaking awesome, though. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody.
and so the difference between the stage 4 and the 5 is the
Do
monitor stands
do
and
do your screens move and everything when you're
yeah,
wrecking?
Oh, when you're
Oh,
wrecking.
when it's shaking and stuff, you got them screens.
yeah.
Everything's moving.
You watch this,
Oh my gosh.
okay?
You better check them bolts every like 2 weeks on holding them screens.
All right, so all right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
This looks so much fun, bro. My God.
Oh my gosh, look at that thing go. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I'd be getting thrown around so much.
So I wanted to upgrade my stage 4, but they wouldn't let me. So what I did is I was looking online, checking out YouTube marketplace, because the girlfriend lived in Massachusetts. So I was gonna buy another rig to put down to her place. So when I went down to Massachusetts, then I'd have another rig down there at that time. Well, come to find out, somebody in Massachusetts had a stage 5, which includes, the motion pedals and it was a complete set: steering wheel, computer, pedals, everything, for almost a little over half of what a brand new one was.
Well, what might
So
a brand new one cost?
if you bought this brand new one right now, a stage 5 sim experience, I think it's like 32,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Yep.
Sheesh.
So
We know who makes the money in the league now.
no, not really.
No, not really. Shut up, Milo.
Only half of 32,000.
So this rig I bought this rig for 16, and I can explain how I'll explain it is, this is my snowmobile, this is my four-wheeler.
Yeah,
This
for sure.
is,
I feel you.
my outside.
Instead of going riding or going to the
Yeah,
we're getting in the rig, babe. You
side
do
by
any have you tried anything besides NASRA on there as far as like I don't know, I guess have you done a Pro 4 truck in that thing and it throwing you around, or do you just do ovals
Oh,
and asphalt?
I did a 410.
Did
Is
you?
it a 410 or a 310
Yeah, I
or
know what you're talking about. Yeah, the dirt midgets or whatever.
yeah, not good. Like I made about 3 laps and I was sick. My stomach turned, and so
Too old for that shit, bub.
I can't. The motion just like destroyed my stomach. I can't. So if I run any dirt or anything like that, I have to. I keep it off.
Well, what about road courses? Like we just practiced Watkins Glen. Is that kind of smoother?
It's not bad. It's pretty good. I'm not a big road course racer, so I'm learning the shifter and stuff like that. So I use sequential. So if you guys do paddle shifting, it's kind of like sequential is the same thing. So I push the shifter forward to go up, and I pull it back to go down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of hard for
I
me.
think Brady should make a rule that you have to do whatever the truck, whatever the vehicle makes you do. I'm not, you know.
You
No,
can't
don't.
make
Sorry,
that.
I don't
You
mean
can't
to be
make that. You can't make that rule if people don't
But
have
I
H
feel
pattern
like if the
shifters.
truck has an H pattern, then you should run H pattern. Next gen has sequential, you should run sequential, so on and so forth. If it's a paddle, you should run paddle.
Yeah, you can't
But
police that.
But a lot of people don't have.
why?
Like, a lot of people
Don't have an H shifter. That's a good point. That's a great
Yes.
point. That's a great
or
point. Well, then
you
you can't run NASRA. Sorry. See.
you give them an H pattern and you miss a shift like Adam did.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
that's yeah, that's
Chris tells me
no.
a freaking shifter, and I'm wrecking the whole field at Pocono. I mean,
I'm
that's
just
what
saying. I
happens.
ran an H pattern at Watkins Glen a little bit ago and beat the paddle Adam. So.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Ooh.
that's true. That's true.
So
But
it might.
man, that is really cool, dude. That is a badass sim rig, dude. That is so cool.
Nobody's ever showed us their rig on this, so that's awesome.
It
Well, because we don't want to see it.
I
We want to
know.
see that one.
it's awesome because you feel every single bump.
Oh
So
yeah.
so when you go into the corner at Pocono and you feel that bump in corner 1, and the truck moves up, your seat's moving with it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Or the little bump in.
I could imagine the Circuit of Americas when you hit them
Yeah.
them
It
things in
it
the S
Those
moves
turns
different.
S's.
and it throws the truck. Oh, boom! There was a
Yeah.
couple people this season that was on
This is
two
a new
wheels.
this is a new seat for me because I wanted something that was combined, because it's more. I'm a driver that's got to feel it.
You better put a helmet and a neck brace on in that thing.
That's pretty close because
That
my
helmet would keep you like tight. Actually, I wouldn't. Shit, I wouldn't. That's not a bad idea.
yep
It'd be
that or
funny.
cut,
And then
cut
and then turn your camera on every race so that NASRA can pull you in and see you bouncing
yeah
your head off
yeah
the seats.
Do you stream
yeah
on Twitch, Chris?
I do. Yep.
So now that you've got a camera, because I know you went and bought this camera just for this podcast.
Nice.
Now you got to stream on Twitch, and we got to watch you. We got to watch you while you race.
Okay.
That'd
That'll
be pretty
get you
dang
a
cool.
lot more subscriptions
That
with the
will.
camera watching that simulator. I can tell you that right now. No camera, no subscriptions.
It will.
Yep.
What's your Twitch account?
Togod 13.
Oh
Toe
God,
God
never mind. I'm not
13.
subscribing to nobody. Oh God.
It's toe with a W, not with the E.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Duh.
The
Right.
toe with a W. Toe God 13.
Yeah.
Everybody can go follow
Okay.
Chris Blanchard on Twitch.
The tow god obviously is the tow god if he's affording a sim rig like that. He's towing everybody. No wonder he takes calls during the race. He's got to pay for the sim rig.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just like, yep. That's pretty much
All
it.
right, boys. This is about time for us to call it.
So 10 years ago, 2013, a buddy of mine, Zach, runs a lot of he runs Sport 4s up here. Okay, we run a lot of front wheel drives and we have some oval tracks around. So I went and did my first enduro race. I took my dad had a 96 Mitsubishi Eclipse that sat on his lawn for 2 years. I put a battery in it, blew the windows out of it, and went and did this enduro race. It was 40 laps. Ended up finishing second. Then I bought this CRX. 4-cylinder, needed a motor. So I got a motor off another buddy of mine, put it in. The crank pulley was broken or come off. So I put the crank pulley on, went and raced. Coming out of corner 4, down the back, front stretch, and the crank pulley passes me again. So the motor. Yep. So I put a motor in it and then broke the suspension. Well, I bought what they call a Monster Mini. So it was a Acura Integra 4-cylinder. Mind you, I started halfway through the season in 2013. I ended up taking Rookie of the Year at 2 tracks and getting 9 top 3 trophies. And I got the Tech Man Award too. And then I also got nominated for Rookie of the Year at the main racing association. It was a thing that happened, expo that happens every year. So that was 2013. Well, that winter, I built a brand new car and went out and it sucked. Like, I couldn't get the thing to go. It was like the sophomore blues or whatever. I just put all this money into it and I couldn't get it to go. And then at the end of the year, I sold it to a guy in New Hampshire named Jake, and he went and raced the Northeast Mini Stock Tour with it, and that was the last time I raced until 2019 when I got into iRacing. So
I didn't realize you raced in real life back then.
I did. I did it a year and a half, and my wallet didn't like it. So
Yeah, that's the tough thing about racing in real life. That's why I do iRace.
yeah,
Your
Way
wallet's
cheaper.
not liking the sim racing either, buddy. Look at that rig you got.
no, it's like I enjoy racing and I enjoy giving back a little bit. So I try to help the drivers that I race with.
You can give me one if you like giving back.
I'm actually going. I think my goal is to cut back on the big sponsorship and do more of a Blanchards Towing family of drivers. You know, like they have the Coca-Cola series, the Coca-Cola family of drivers.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to do something like that where I help individual drivers over the 4 series of NASRA, and they become the part of the family, and there'll be some expectations of You know, uh, like if you come to Clinton, Maine, my reputation with towing is I try to keep it phenomenal and, try to take care of everybody and keep my reputation up. So, like with these drivers that I want to, after I figure it out, I want to pick drivers that are going to uphold that reputation, that respect, that niceness on the radio during a race, or you know, clean driving and stuff like that, and then help those drivers succeed a little better. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Joey just commented and said, "Well, I'm out."
Yeah, he is, because he is a prime example of
What not to be. Oh, sorry.
you are as good as the people you are around. Because if you look, Joey was phenomenal last season,
Yeah.
when he was with Steven Peacock and I.
He was a
Okay?
nice guy, right? He was
Yes.
friendly. He was calm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now he's over in Mission 2 or Mission 1 or whatever they're calling themselves this week.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and you know, and
Yeah.
he's wrecking people and
Mission 0, Mission 1, Mission 2. I mean, I can't keep up with them
How many
anymore.
missions are there out here?
I don't
Who
know, but
knows,
I
man?
think we're by the time
They're on a
by the
mission
time
to win one, but they can't do that.
right, by the time they're all done, there'll be no other teams but Mission 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. I mean,
That is funny. That is funny. Brady better have something to say about that. I'll tell you that.
he
Yeah,
ain't never got
yeah,
nothing to say.
yeah. Well,
Well, I gotta thank you for coming on, Chris. This is a great interview. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, man. It's awesome.
I appreciate.
I always say every week we always have a good guy here, and I always say like each week's that's my favorite interview. But this one was pretty dang top of the list right here. Nobody's ever showed me their racing setup on
No, it's pretty good. I actually, when I went down to the computer shop today, Joey went with me, and um, the guy down at the computer shop, we were talking about it, and he showed me the Microsoft flight simulator.
Oh yeah, I
So,
got that. I've got that.
so I think I'm going to. That's the next thing I'm going to look into, is getting a controller and throttle, and I can actually use this same rig on.
Yeah, it'll move around and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yep, I can use the same rig.
What are those things called in the plane when you air pockets when they?
Yep.
Yeah,
Hit a
cool
little bit
hitting
of
one of those in
turbulence.
that thing. Yeah, boy. I'm about to hit some turbulence if we hurry up and get off of this.
All right, Steven's rushing us to get off here, but Blanchard, I really do appreciate you coming on. You're a huge sponsor in the league. You're now kind of a veteran of the league, so and now you're a winner in the league. So uh,
Look how
I,
old he
I
is.
am a winner, but I gotta get one on Friday night to seal the deal.
I said that too. I said that I made that comment
Like
one
you
time
said though, the
that
Xfinity series is stacked. So I
it
mean, I
is
still
stacked, but like
don't sleep on the fact that
Friday is the premier series. So like I have said before, if you're not winning on Fridays, you're not doing nothing.
So
Oh,
I
let's
can't
look at
really,
this.
which I can't really say that anymore because we've had the Monday Night Truck Series, which is really taken off very well, and now the
yeah.
Xfinity.
Let's look at this for a second. So Daytona, I led the first stage. Would have led the second stage because I had my keyboard fell on the ground and muted my sound. So it
Oh,
really can't run up front with no sound.
right.
So technically, I probably would have been a chance. I probably could have won Daytona. Um, Phoenix was mine,
Yep, it
definitely.
was. It was. Yep.
Um, Las Vegas was mine, but or not mine, but I was in a good position to do it. I was running ninth when my screen went black.
Oh,
Yes, and I still finished in the top 10. So that would have been a good race for me. I would have had a chance. Um, and Bristol, I was leading and got taken out by Lumpkin.
at Bristol. I remember that. I remember that. I remember that.
So there's four, at least one, because Phoenix that would have been, that was in the bag anyway. But 3 other ones potentially.
Potentially, yeah. At least a
Yep.
great finish, and that's kind of like what I always try to do. I always try to look back on like races like that. Especially last season, I had a terrible season. I just try to look back on the good moments of the season, and I'm like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. Kind of
Yep.
Yeah.
keeps your
I
confidence up a
mean,
little bit.
I feel you looking at the positive of each race, but at the same time, if you look back, like I could have won this, I could have won that. You kind of just got to move on to, all right, you know what? Who
Yep.
cares what happened? It's on to the next one, bro.
Well, you learn something from each one of those.
You do.
You do. Yep.
You learn what not to do. You're in a situation. You learn the next time you're in that same situation. You learn, ease off or
You,
whatever you got to do.
you learn. Look.
Check mute button on keyboard.
That's
Little labels we can
hilarious.
put on there.
Yep. So if my sound goes out, check the mute button on the keyboard because I did not know my keyboard had a mute button until that night.
Huh.
That's pretty crazy. Well, Chris, thanks for joining us. I know your sponsors are kind of yourself, but thank whoever makes it happen for you.
Oh, it's Upfront Motorsports. I think I don't know. They ask me this all the time, and I'm like, I don't even know.
Well, maybe you should.
I need to
See,
learn now.
you know that little note you got on your steering wheel.
Yeah, I need to like
Make one
print
for
that
your
out.
sponsors.
Yeah,
Yep.
man, make a little list of them people you like to thank, cause you're about to start winning, boy. You need to get you a little list. Start,
Yeah, let me go
about to
back.
start winning.
Cody Knott has commented
Let's
on and
start
said,
with
"You're the Godfather, the Toe Father. You're the Toe Father."
We
the
got
Toe Father.
we got John.
John Hedrick. Yep.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Did you see the guitars he's?
I did see that actually. So I should have freaking got that on here because John Hendrick made him at Over the Top Designs made him a guitar. Didn't make him the guitar, but put a design on the guitar pretty much for him.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty solid. They put it somewhere. I'm looking to see. I ought to know this, huh?
Yeah.
I know y'all got Dan's Top Notch Heating and Cooling.
Yep. Granite.
You got Over the Top Designs. I don't really know. I've forgotten some of y'all sponsors.
Whatever you do, don't thank don't thank Keith Bradley. He ain't. All he does is talk crap to you. He don't really help you.
Keith Bradley.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not that bad.
He's not that bad.
The the funny part is I have issues with somebody, and then the next season I'm on their team.
Yeah, I talked about that a couple weeks ago on this podcast. How that's how a lot of our relationships start, man. I mean, you start off with a problem with somebody in the race, and then you just kind of, when you're racing with them 4 or 5 seasons, you're eventually going to have some cool moments with them. So you earn more respect by going through both,
Yeah.
and also you lose a lot of respect for some by going through both and seeing how people react. Like you said, man, put yourself around good people.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But
Keith Bradley and I are always we still make fun because him and I had an incident at uh, Indianapolis where he was bumping me going into the corners,
I remember this.
and I get on the radio and I laid it out to him like, stop doing it. That's a nice way I think I said it, but
Yeah, yeah.
we laugh about it now, or Steven being Steven.
oh yeah, the old Steven being Steven. Yeah.
Yep.
That was the first incident between me and Blanchard.
Yep.
I think I called him a slow F bomb
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
over the radio. I'd say if you get your slow F bomb out of my way.
All right, well, we'll close
Oh,
it out, guys. We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes now. So thank you guys for joining us on the NASRA 360 Weekly Podcast this day of March 22nd, 2023. We'll throw up our little series here. We got the Monday Night Sim Racer Hub Truck Series heads to Watkins Glen on Monday night at 9 o'clock for the opening round of the round of 12. Over the Top Designs Xfinity Series Thursday night is going to be. Can't even tell you where they're going to be. I'm terrible at this. I know the Triple M Pulling Truck Series will be at Atlanta on Friday night, and then the Pulse Poppers Late Model Stock Series, pretty much the car tour, will be presented by the NASRA 360 Racing Network. They got 9 more openings, so get in there, get your name on that sign-up sheet as soon as you can. Thank you
First
guys
race of
for
Five
joining
Flags.
us. At first
Make
race
sure
of
you-
Five Flags.
Make sure you guys bring your A game on Friday night.
Bring it, because Blanchard's going for that win at Atlanta. Blanchard, can we get a Blanchards?
Blanchard's what?
Like, when you answer the phone and you say Blanchards.
Oh,
Blanchards.
nobody called in today.
Oh. Well,
Yeah, I
dang.
can't.
Well, let's hear it
can't
anyway. Let's hear it anyway.
Blanchard.
There we go. There we go. that wasn't quite as.
Oh no, he sounds so
yeah.
much more excited when they're in the race. Listen, I've heard
Joey,
him answer
that
that
doesn't
phone
count,
so
Joey.
many times during a race last season. He
Uh,
goes, Blanchards.
Blanchard.
All right, I took care of it for you.
Called in.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. We'll see y'all next week on the podcast.
All
See you,
right, have a
boys.
good night, guys. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye.